Get your popcorn ready because it's time for a movie watching party on Asteroid G. You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me is one of the two members of our current podcast team,
Queen Bee.
And we're apparently going deep. Sorry. That came out like a Garth laugh from Wayne's World right there. Caught me off guard right there. We're gonna be covering in detail, as best as we can, the thing that we just watched a few minutes ago, Evolution, the Ivan Reitman movie from the mid-90s, starring David Duchovny and Orlando Jones.
That is, okay, yeah.
Early aughts?
Early 2000s, yeah.
Early 2000s? Okay. Yeah. So, you had not seen this movie before today.
I did not.
You missed it in theaters, which I think most of us did.
Intentionally.
It doesn't look good from the trailer. And I will admit, up front, it's not a good movie.
Let's just be honest here. I am not a huge fan of David Duchovny. Liked him in X-Files, but pretty much everything else he's been in has pretty been...
Well, X-Files played to his strength of being kind of creepy and strange.
He plays creepy and strange very well.
He does. Yeah. But a different kind of creepy and strange, as we were discussing, than James Spader, who's very vile, but really good at it.
Yeah, it's a different creepy and strange. Yeah, I prefer the creepy and strange from James Spader.
Yeah. Well, he's made a career out of it at this point. David Duchovny tries to play good guys and just fails.
So Evolution is an Ivan Reitman film.
Uh-huh.
Ivan Reitman, the director,
You're going off
also
notes
known,
again.
notes. Known for Meatballs, Stripes. I think that was really his break into major
those
movies.
Two right there. Because Meatballs is held up as a big Bill Murray movie as well, even though I've never actually watched it. I think I watched Stripes once and it was okay.
It was out the same times as like Porky's and Porky's 2 and all those.
It's held up as one of those, but from what I understand, it's not anywhere near the same kind of movie.
No, it's not as raunchy. It's more funny.
Yeah.
Animal House.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2. This is when he has walked away from Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. He did Twins, Kindergarten Cop. This is when he became friends with Schwarzenegger, obviously.
Yeah. He finds a muse and he sticks with them for a little while.
Dave.
That's a good flick.
That's actually a really
flick.
good movie.
Yeah, I like that flick a lot.
Junior was okay.
Yeah. Well, it was basically Twins again, just with the dude getting pregnant instead of having a twin. Yeah.
And then for some reason, he just went off on a genre of weird animal movies and weird coming of age movies, which were like Beethoven, Space Jam, Private Parts, Up in the Air.
Actually, you know what? All things, I have to admit, Private Parts is actually a decent movie. Despite being about Howard Stern, it's actually really watchable. Sells him as an actual human being.
Up in the Air actually was later nominated for an Academy Award.
That one's good too. I like that one. Picture, and then his son has done a bunch of stuff lately too. I think his son is actually working with him on the new Ghostbusters that's being produced.
That would be Jason Reitman.
Yes.
Yep.
Name, whatever.
Just so you know. Now, he is Canadian. I don't know if that makes a difference for anybody.
We don't have to keep going over the notes. It's fine.
Okay.
No, we're good.
Sorry.
We're talking about the movie, not his career.
That's true. Okay. So Evolution. It is funny.
Yes.
It has some funny parts to it.
Yes.
Aside from that, I mean, I guess the favorite, it's very predictable.
It's very predictable, but it's not the story itself that matters. Like, it's aliens land, they start producing, they evolve at an exponential rate. You kind of can tell where it's going. The little twist at the end that the heat makes them re-evolve and causes the whole thing all over. I mean, that's kind of okay. It's not what I was expecting, but up until that point, where it's just following the evolutionary chain that we basically have on Earth, yeah. Totally linear, totally predictable plot. It's not the story itself at that point that matters, but it's the interplay between David Duchovny and Orlando Jones and Stiffler, Seann William Scott. Between the three of them, they make most of that movie insanely watchable.
That's true. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I must admit it was pretty funny. I am a Orlando Jones fan, so although I'm not a David Duchovny fan, nor am I a Seann William Scott fan,
which, on that topic, and I need to get a copy of it back or buy another copy, which will take like a month and a half to show up from Amazon right now while we're living through COVID-19. If you haven't seen The Goon, which is a Seann William Scott hockey movie, it's actually really good and sells him as a real actor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
sure, we'll buy
yeah.
that.
He plays a bouncer who like gets brought in as he can't skate, but he gets brought in as basically a heavy for a hockey team, so that when a fight happens, he basically goes and just beats the shit out of people.
Okay.
It actually is, but he's got like this heart of gold sweetness to him. It's a really good movie. He can be an actor. The problem is like from American Pie on for a while, he had his very specific type of character.
He was
played.
typecast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To play Stiffler.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
He's brought in
He
since
actually
then.
wasn't bad in Walking Tall. I think that's what it was. Walking Tall or
The Rundown?
The Rundown.
Yeah,
yes,
because that was the
okay.
one that came out before Walking Tall.
Right, okay.
Yeah. No, Orlando Jones is funny. I also liked him in The Replacements.
Yes.
Yes.
That's my favorite football movie ever.
He plays, it's like with David Duchovny. Orlando Jones plays the same Orlando Jones character basically everywhere. David Duchovny always plays that weird, creepy David Duchovny. Yeah. But Orlando Jones is actually a very likable dude.
Yes.
And he basically plays himself in all of his parts. So
And he's actually in, what is this, American Gods?
Yes.
He's in American Gods. He's actually very
as
good
a heavy in
Yeah.
that one. He was actually really good there for the one season he was in. Then I heard he was fired because reasons. I don't know.
I don't know whoever they...
It was a mistake. Most people are saying it was a mistake that the second season wasn't anywhere near as good as the first. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
It isn't near as good as the first. Yeah.
There you go. So the reviews were right.
Yeah.
There you go. So, well, they changed the whole creative team on that. Anyway, evolution, because we keep wandering from the main topic.
Okay, so my favorite part about this movie, aside from the whole Orlando Jones being in it,
Getting the bug in his ass. And
right?
Just
No, we
acting
won't.
No, but he acted the shit out of that.
He really
this
did,
hysterical.
No. But I will. That's not even one of my favorite parts. Okay. So if I have to have a favorite part, which I've kind of said I have, the best part is when they bring up the whole periodic table. Well, I also like David Duchovny yelling at the goo. That's pretty funny too. But the periodic table, like suddenly, oh yeah, we forgot we're scientists. That's actually a really good part.
There were parts of the movie that actually kind of were like, wow, they're trying to use science here.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a very shitty kind of science, and the assumptions they made were dumb. But they spent half a second actually looking at a lab going, how would this actually work? Before basically writing a movie that would be like a low-rent Ghostbusters.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's basically what the movie is I mean, you could swap in Bill Murray's Venkman over top of David Duchovny and
Absolutely.
Honestly,
would have been better.
Yeah, well, and honestly, all the stupid crap he was supposed to have done in his past, accidentally like giving people a terrible anthrax vaccine that caused them a month's worth of what it's called cane madness, but you could easily see it being Venkman madness.
Yes.
Yeah, like he could just be pasted right over top, and honestly, probably would have made the character both better and creepier at the same time, because Venkman is not a very good character. He's kind of an ass.
Well, Bill Murray plays a really good ass. It's just
so, and then I guess it would have been.
I wonder if it was actually meant for his character. I wonder if
I think
he
I remember
wrote it specifically for Bill Murray.
I think I remember at one point that this was being pitched as a new Ghostbusters, and when that was rejected, it moved on to being something else.
I see.
Because it really, I mean, you could stitch Winston kind of over top of Orlando Jones's character vaguely. I mean, it's not hard to see Ray Stantz actually becoming the mayor because basically Dan Aykroyd's playing the same character anyway.
Yep.
And then you have Venkman being Venkman because Venkman is the center of both of those movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
then
can
they
see
just
that.
give him a different love interest because Sigourney Weaver didn't want to come back. I mean, what probably sunk it is the fact that Bill Murray is averse to doing sequels to anything he does.
That's true.
So
Except for Garfield. Why?
I know. I ask that every time, and the only thing anyone can ever suggest is contracts. From what I understand, as I think we've discussed earlier, he heard that a Coen was attached to it and thought it was supposed to be Ethan Coen of the Coen brothers,
yeah.
and not Eaton Coen, just some random asshole. And then he felt really stupid afterwards, but he was signed on for 2 fucking movies. So
he also did Zombieland 2, by the way.
Which he actually loved, but those were cameos.
Yes,
and that's
he doesn't mind
different.
doing cameos.
No,
he's very good.
He'll show up to do random shit, like a magical pixie. Just, I don't know if he's going to show up. And then one day he just shows up, and you're like, okay, I guess we're filming this scene now.
Yep, pretty much. Someday that will be my life. Anyway.
Oh, I heard I was summoned.
Exactly.
Let me appear out of nowhere.
So, yeah, evolution. So, getting back to that. So, if you can put aside that, I had
David
some
Duchovny.
problems. I had some problems with
It's kind of-
community college having a lab that dirty, because I went to community college and my lab was never that dirty when I had to take science classes.
All the main characters are dudes, and they act like very dudes. They're kind of misogynistic, which I
They're
noticed.
out of Arizona. How are we going to give
Are we just
Arizona
gonna
a lot of credit here?
tar the whole state as like misogynistic David Duchovny's? Is that what we're... That seems kind of harsh.
Just let's look at the people we know who actually live there, shall
Just
we?
your ex-husband, okay? I don't think he's a proper sample group, okay?
I don't know anybody nice from Arizona. No.
But I mean, it is kind of misogynistic. And although I think the movie tries to redeem itself in the last act and make
It
everyone
does.
a little better,
Yeah.
it still is. But it's that same thing. If it had been Venkman in the role, then it would have been misogynistic anyway, because
Right.
that's the way his character is. And you can just, again, kind of see that like vague layering over top. So, yeah.
The product placement was really good. I mean,
Head
they
and
like
Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders, Sam Adams. There was a couple others in the beginning of product placement. I mean, they did a pretty
They
good
worked
job.
it in well. And then, of course, after working in Head and Shoulders kind of well, they then purposely make a commercial out of it right at the end to be like, hey, by the way, this is
Right.
stupid that we did this.
Right,
Yeah.
but did you notice that Orlando Jones didn't have it facing the right way?
Because he thought it was stupid that they were
yes.
doing it. Yeah.
But don't they do a lot of those in the films that he's in too? Or maybe no, actually it wasn't him.
He was famous for the 7-Up campaign that he helped like front, where they did a lot of funny, stupid man on the street shit, like the ever famous
yeah,
"Make
okay.
7 Up Yours."
That makes sense then.
Yeah, the "Up Yours" shirt. I loved
Yes,
that shirt.
Up
That was so
Yours,
good. Make 7 up yours. Hey, make 7 up yours. He was so good in those commercials. It was so dumb. And he probably made mad bank on them,
He probably
too.
did.
Because he doesn't make a lot of movies anymore. And it's not that he's not a good actor. It's just that I think he's one of those actors who was like, yeah, I made enough. Whatever.
Yeah, he has that attitude. I can totally see that.
This doesn't interest me. Why would I make this?
Exactly. I see that. Yeah. Okay.
So, no, I like the people. I like a lot of the funny stuff. I think the actual special effects themselves, despite not quite holding up as well now, they're still pretty good. And there's a lot of decent puppetry in them to sell the weird CGI at times.
Who played Dr. Reed?
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Okay.
And she was good for what she was given. She sold that stupid running gag of her character being a klutz
She
like it
did.
was no tomorrow.
That was another favorite part
Yeah,
of mine. Is
she
that
was in
every
it.
time she tripped or fell or whatever, she owned it. It was great.
full pratfall, and she's like, "Yep, I'm doing this. Is
I'm
my
doing it.
character.
Exactly.
I'm doing this." It's like Sigourney Weaver's character in Galaxy Quest. I have one role. I'm gonna do this role.
Yeah, exactly. I get to repeat whatever the computer says. Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, it is, I will admit, going back and watching it again after all these years, it is slow at times. The movie takes a little while to get going. There are some parts where it's just not very funny, where the banter's just not quite there.
Well, I kind of look at most comedy films and go, wow, they're going there. Okay. I can't, this is hard for me to watch. It's like, it's Schadenfreude. It's definitely Schadenfreude. It's like a train wreck happening, but you have to watch it anyway. Yeah.
The insect up the butt, or the man
Yeah.
sucked into the giant anus.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yuck. And the fart jokes and all the other kind of,
They did let the fart running gag go for a very long time,
They
didn't
did.
they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But it was coming because it was predictable.
Yeah, it was. Again, the same beats over and over again. The script likes to hit certain jokes over and over again. When it's at its best, it's just having the actors kind of riff and ad-lib and do their own thing. And that's why Orlando Jones is the one we keep coming back to, because he gets the most ad-libs of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have had him along with Bill Murray, this movie would have been stellar, and it probably be held up as a classic and not just a cult classic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that.
So
what else did you want to say about the film?
I don't know. I mean, Josh was supposed to be here, but he's quarantined himself from us. And it's honestly, this movie covering it was his idea. So whatever he wanted to say on the matter, I don't know.
So if you want to see a ridiculously stupid film that actually made me laugh, I will give it a 3-star. I think it's about a 3-star.
I think as far as like, official and unofficial Ghostbusters movies, I would put this up above Ghostbusters 2.
Okay. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's
Yeah.
I honestly like the 2016, what I call Lady Ghostbusters, Answer the Call, whatever you want to do. I actually like that the best of all, mostly because I haven't seen it a ton of times. So the jokes in it are fresher to me. Only watched it a couple times. It's really fucking funny. I've seen Ghostbusters more times than I can count. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen all this and he's kind of creepy. So I would definitely put it above Ghostbusters 2. It might not be quite on par with number 1, but it's close just because, again, I haven't seen it as much. So it's funnier to me. But it's definitely not the best of in that canon, I would say.
Well, out of all the Ivan Reitman films that I have seen, and I have seen all of the ones that I mentioned on that list, I would say that it falls under Stripes, which was probably his best film to date, in my opinion. Even over Ghostbusters, Stripes is the best.
I need to go back and watch it again, then.
It's actually really good.
I think I own it.
When we could do Army April. That could fall into Action April.
Next time we do podcast recording, the thing we could watch could be Stripes.
There you go.
Yeah. Just let it evolve on its own. Hey, evolution. We brought it back around. Anyway, so what is it above then? Like Meatballs, or what's the closest competitor then?
Well, Meatballs is stupid funny. So, yeah, it's probably in the same vein as Meatballs. Definitely in the same... Well, it's in the same vein as most of his Ivan Reitman movies. Up in the Air.
I like that one a lot.
I was not a fan of Up in the Air. I thought it was too serious. So, that's where it falls for me. It's got a really
winning performance, though, from George Clooney.
Oh, yeah. It was a very good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's just not something that I would prefer to watch over and over and over again. Whereas I'd probably end up watching Evolution more often than I would Up in the Air, just because it's funnier.
I honestly, of the two Reitmans, the younger Jason Reitman has a couple more movies I think I'd actually care about. Thank You for Smoking. I think it's a fantastic movie. And that one's, I think, funnier and has more of like an edge to it. So of all of those, I'm going to go with that. I mean, if we're counting his movies as well. I need to go and watch Stripes at this point and see if it's better than Ghostbusters or not then.
Well, it has this entire same team in it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same actors.
Yep.
So, but it's a little bit more serious. Yes.
Than Ghostbusters, you mean?
And Ghostbusters, yeah.
It has, not Evolution. It doesn't have Orlando Jones or
It has Bill
Stiffler.
Murray, Dan Aykroyd.
It has a very young Seann William Scott in one scene.
It's... Although it has some of the same kind of characters in it that obviously Evolution does, because they were saying this was a Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Stripes has a similar feelings to that because one of the army scenes that you have in Evolution, and two, they play the stupidity a lot for the army. So that's what's funny in it.
Okay.
So now you know.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, we're good.
That's been a deep dive on...
I think we devolved.
That happens. Apparently, Josh doesn't even have to be here, and we'll just wander off topic. Way off topic. Anyway, this has been a deep dive from Asteroid G. I am Mike Finkelstein.
I am Queen Bee.
And we will see you next time.